Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are fit and fine. So dear students, today in this video lesson, we are going to read chapter 6 on the face of it written by Susan Hill. So everyone please take out your book and get ready for the same. Let's get started. The message of the lesson which we are going to read is the actual pain or the inconvenience caused by a physical impairment is often less than the sense of alienation felt by the person with a disability. The play which we are going to read on the face of it by Susan Hill brings out the pain and isolation that the physically handicapped go through. The carelessness and insensitivity of the society adversely affect their personality. They often become withdrawn and isolated, like the 14-year-old Derry. The actual pain or the inconvenience caused by a physical impairment is less than the sense of alienation felt by the person with a disability. Physical disability causes pain only once in lifetime but cause mental agony throughout the life. A disabled person is often neglected by others. People stare at him and pass ugly comments. Wounds get healed, but bitter comments can never be forgotten as they leave behind scars. It is cruel that over 19 million physically challenged children worldwide, of whom 36 million are in India, are being systematically excluded from mainstream education. Many of them are stereotyped frequently and also face alienation even within their own families. Like even Derry's mother kisses him on the right, that is good side of his face in this story. And that too out of duty, a physical challenged person expects to be treated normally. Ostracizing or offering him pity pushes him back to darkness. We must not hurt his self pride by remaining him of his handicap. Let him live his life in his own way. Let him taste hurdles. He will himself overcome them. Hope and encouragement are the greatest gifts we can give them. In this world, no one is perfect. Everyone lacks something. It does not mean we go on frustrating over it, keeping ourselves cut off from the outer world. We should focus on our strengths and move on the journey of life. Now let us go through this hypnosis of this lesson. In this lesson, both Mr. Lamb and Derry are physically disabled. However, both of them differ in their thoughts, traits, and attitude towards life. Derry, physically handicapped, having burnt face, knows he is different, has poor self-esteem and feels victimized. He has negative attitude. He considers himself withdrawn and alienated. He is scared of looking at himself in mirror even because of his burnt face. He considers himself ugly. He is deeply affected by people's comments. He feels very painful when a woman whispered to another that he was a terrible thing. In the hospital, a woman says blind people should be with blind people and idiot boys with idiot boys. Mr. Lamb, physically handicapped, he does not have one leg, has positive attitude. He is not afraid and shy of his physical impairment. He does not let the comments of people go to him. Children call him Lemmy Lamb. He feels that it suits him as he walks with a limb. He is open minded. He keeps himself busy in attending to his trees, crab apples, listening to the buzzing of the bees, and reading books. He loves to spend time with people who enter his garden, so he keeps his gates open. There are no curtains at the windows because he does not like shutting things out. He likes the light and the darkness. Mr. Lamb wanted to save the young boy, Terry, from self-pitying habit. He helped him overcome his senses of inferiority. He advised him not to pay attention to what others thought about him and open up his heart to let love enter, to celebrate life and its wonders. The real beauty of a person is inside and not outside. He provides confidence to Derry. He advised Derry to face the harsh realities of his life with courage and fortitude. Lamb's generosity, opens and confidence affect a lamb's generosity, openness and confidence affect a change in Derry's attitude towards himself and the world. He feels no longer afraid. Now he has strength to face the odds of life. Despite all that, Mr. Lamb says, yet senses of isolation is quite painful to him. He lives in an empty house. He yearns for human company. He is happy to get Derry's company, to talk to in his loneliness. When Derry tells him that he will come back, he reflects that nobody ever comes back. So this is all about the lesson. Now let us go through some additional points of this lesson. Derry was surprised when he climbed over the garden wall into the garden. He found an old man there. Derry had not expected anybody here. Derry thought that it was an empty place. There was only the occasional sound of bird song and of tree leaves rustling. Mr. Lamb tells Derry the story of a man who had locked himself in a room as he was afraid of everything. He feared that a bus might run over, a bus might run him over, or a man might breathe deadly germs into him, or a donkey might kick him to death, or lightning might strike him down, or he might love a girl and the girl would leave him, or he might sleep on a banana skin and fall, or he might sleep on a banana skin and fall. So he went into his room and locked the door and got into his bed and stayed there. One day a picture fell off the wall onto his head and killed him. Terry burst out laughing. Second scene. Derry's mother warned him against visiting Mr. Lamb as he was new to the place. She had not much personal information about him. She had heard adverse remarks made by people about Mr. Lamb. He was leading a lonely life, no contact with outside world. So did not want Derry to be influenced by Mr. Lamb. But Derry was determined to visit his new friend again. Mr. Lamb's anxiety was about his crab apples. He wanted the crab apples down to make jelly. So Derry wanted to help him. In spite of his mother's protest, he ran out. Third scene. Mr. Lamb climbs on a ladder to get the crab apples down. The ladder falls back. Derry opens the garden and says aloud that he has come back. But he finds the old man dead. Derry is very shocked and grieved to find Mr. Lamb dead. He repeats that he has come back, that he has taken his promise. He begins to weep. So this is all about the story. We have gone through the hypnosis. We have gone through the additional points. We have gone through the theme of the lesson, summary of this lesson. Now let us go through line by line explanation of this lesson. So everyone, now get ready with your book. Look at it. Page number 56. On the Face of It, written by Susan Hill, which we are reading. This is a play featuring an old man and a small boy meeting in the farmer's garden. So as we went through the summary just now, we have seen this lesson, this play, including an old man and a small boy. Here featuring means including. Featuring means including. Let me write down more words and their meanings. Strikes means begins. Strikes means begins. And withdrawn means extremely quiet and shy. Withdrawn, extremely sorry, quiet and shy. Extremely quiet and shy. Defiant. Defiant means openly refusing to obey. Defiant means openly refusing to obey. Defiant means openly refusing to obey. Okay. Now let us go through this part before you read. This is a play featuring an old man. This is a play which includes old man and a small boy meeting in the farmer's garden. So in this play, a small boy meets the old man in his garden. The old man strikes up a friendship with the boy who is very withdrawn and defiant. Defiant. So now the old man begins a friendship with the boy who is very isolated, who is very quiet and shy and defiant, who openly refuse to obey anyone. What is the bond that unties the two? What is the bond that unties the two? Let us read the lesson and come to know. Scene 1. Mr. Lamb's garden. This is the scene of Mr. Lamb's garden. There is the occasional sound of bird song. In the garden there is a usual sound of bird song and of tree leaves rustling. As you must have heard such sound in a garden. Derry's footsteps are heard as he walks slowly in, tentatively, making a low sound, that is tentatively. Tentatively means making a low sound. Tentatively. Tentatively it is, sorry. Tentatively. Tentatively means making a low sound. Startled means surprise. Startled, sorry. Startled means surprised or shocked and frightened. Okay. Let's begin now. Scene 1. Mr. Lamb's garden. It is Mr. Lamb's garden. When the curtain rises, there is the occasional sound of bird song and the tree leaves rustling. Derry's footsteps are heard as he walks slowly in, tentatively through the long grass. So when Derry is walking tentatively, walking slowly. So through the long grass, it was making a low sound. He pauses and then walks again. So then Mr. Lamb pauses and walks again. Sorry, Dairy, a boy of 14. Dairy pauses and walks again. He comes round a screen of bushes. Then he comes round a screen of bushes so that when Mr. Lamb speaks to him, he is close at hand and Dairy is startled. So that when Mr. Lamb speaks to him, he is close at hand and Dairy is startled. Dairy is surprised. Okay, let's see. Now, play starts here. Mr. Lamb, mind the apples. Mr. Lamb asked Dairy, mind the apples means walk carefully because there are apples fell down on the ground. Dairy, what? Who is that? Who is there? So as Dairy was not aware that someone lives there, so that is why he inquired who was there. Mr. Lamb, Lamb's my name. Then Mr. Lamb told Dairy his name. Lamb, mind the apples. Crab apples, those are. So further Mr. Lamb said, those are the crab apples, so you should mind them. Wind falls in the long grass. You could trip. So further he said that wind falls in the long grass and you can, slip. You may fall. Dairy, I thought this was an empty place. So Dairy said, I thought this was an empty place. I did not expect you here. I didn't know there was anybody here. Mr. Lamb, that's all right. I'm here. Mr. Lamb then said, that's all right. He was there. What are you afraid of, boy? That's all right. Dairy, I thought it was empty. An empty house. So Dairy said, I thought it was an empty house. That is why I came. I did not know that someone lived here. Mr. Lamb, so it is. Yes, it is an empty house. Since I am out there in the garden, it is empty. So he said, since I am out there in the garden, so that is why house is empty. Until I go back inside. So further he said, until I go back inside, the house would remain empty. In the meantime, I am out there and likely to stop a day like this. So he said, in the meantime, I would like to come out and enjoy a day like this. Beautiful day. Not a day to be indoors. He said the weather was bright, the day was beautiful. So he wanted to enjoy it outside as he could not enjoy it indoors. Dairy, panic. I have got to go. So now Dairy, he was feeling panic and he said he had got to go. Mr. Lamb, not on my account. Mr. Lamb said, I do not have any problem. I don't mind who comes into the garden. Further, Mr. Lamb said, I never mind the people who comes to my garden. The gates always open. So he said the gates are always open. Only you climb the garden wall. Only you climb the garden wall, but the gates are open. So everyone comes through the gate because the gates are open, but you climb the garden wall. Dairy, angry. You were watching me. So at this, Dairy got angry and said, you were watching me. Mr. Lamb, I saw you, but the gates open. So further he said, yes, I saw you, but the gates are open. All welcome. You are welcome. I sit here. I like sitting. He said, everyone is welcome. You are also welcome. I sit here because I like sitting here. Dairy. I would not come to steal anything. Further, Dairy said, I haven't come to steal anything. I haven't come here to steal anything. Mr. Lamb. No, no, the young lad steal. Scrum the apples. Scrum means steal. Scrum means steal. He said, no, no, the young lads, the young boys who comes here, they steal the apple. And you are so young. And you are so young. As the young boys, they steal the apple. And you are so young. Dairy. I just wanted to come in. Dairy then said he just wanted to come into the garden. Mr. Lamb. So you did. Further, Mr. Lamb said, yes, then you had come. Here we are then. Then he said, yes, here we are then because you have come. Dairy. You don't know who I am? So Dairy further asked him that he did not know him. Mr. Lamb, a boy 13 or so. So he said, you are a boy 13 or so. Dairy, 14, pause. I have got to go now, goodbye. So Dairy told him that he was of 14 and he wanted to go back. Goodbye. Mr. Lamb, nothing to be afraid. Just a garden, just me. So Mr. Lamb further said, nothing to be afraid here. This is just a garden and only I am here. So you need not to be afraid. Mr. Lamb, why should that be? Dairy, everyone is. It doesn't matter who are they or what they say or how they look, how they pretend. I know I can see. So Dairy said, but I'm not afraid. People are afraid of me. Dairy said that I'm not afraid of anyone. People are afraid of me. Mr. Lamb said, why should that be? Why people are afraid of you? Dairy, everyone is. It doesn't matter who are they or what they say or how they look, how they pretend. I know, I can see. So he said, I can see. Everyone is afraid of me. I can see the people who are afraid of me. Mr. Lamb, see what? Dairy, what they think? Mr. Lamb, what do you think then? Dairy, you think here is a boy who look at me and then you see my face and you think that's bad. That's a terrible thing. That's the ugliest thing I ever saw. You think poor boy, but I'm not poor. Underneath you are afraid anybody would be. I am. When I look in the mirror and see it, I am afraid of me. So as we have seen in the introduction, the one side of Dairy's face was burnt. So that is why he says everyone is afraid of me. Even I see myself in the mirror, then I am also afraid of me. So this is what Dairy said, that everyone in this whosoever I meet, they afraid of me because of my burnt face, because his face was burnt at one side. So that is why he said, when I look at the mirror, I also afraid of myself. So please students mark till here, till page number 57. It's all about this video. In my next video lesson, I'll explain some more pages of this lesson. Thank you for watching this video. See you tomorrow.